Hello guys, welcome back. And today the goal is to reach 100. Might as well I'll try 150, right? So basically the levels are super easy in the beginning. They start off from 900. I mean the elo rating. And as you keep on progressing, as you keep on going up the ladder, the levels will definitely increase. So again, right, the entire goal is to reach more than 100 or more than 100. The max I've reached at or reached to is 58. I've never reached anything more than that, so let's give it a go on this one. So the first one is quite easy, rook f1 and then okay, checkmate. All right. Okay, again, this is a deflection technique. The king on b7 protects the rook on c7. So if I can somehow lure the king off the c7 square, or from protecting the c7 rook, then I'm completely winning as my king is more closer to my pawns. So rook a7 and then king c7. Alright, this one's easy. The bishop on c4 protects the g8 square. All you need to do is find a nice little check. The h file is entirely open, so you can just go queen h3. Right, the only way is to block, and then queen captures h4 is a completely free piece. Win the queen and mate. Right, let's take a look at this. This one looks complicated but is really easy. It's nothing related to a checkmate, but instead it's something related to a discovered attack, and that discovery can be created by getting this pawn off from the e5 square. So you just play pawn captures d6, bishop captures d6 is forced because the pawn on d6 was giving a check, right? And once bishop captures d6, you can just capture the queen on b2. Knight captures c3. Okay, this one's again an easy one. Discovered attack. Can you find it? Yes. Bishop captures h7 with a check. King must capture as it's a check, or whatever the king wants to do. Even if the king slides to h8, it doesn't really matter because we just end up capturing the queen once the bishop is off the d file. So bishop captures h7, king captures, and then queen captures d4. Okay, now let's take a look at this. Again, this is an easy one according to me. The king is on the h file. We have the entire h file for ourselves. The g6 and the g8 squares are protected. Once you give a check, there are like three ways. First of all, queen h2 is met by queen captures h2. Bishop comes to one of these two squares, and again the h5 square is overpowered because of our queen and the rook. So rook h1. Again, like I said, two attackers, the queen and the rook, and just one defender. So it's just, yeah, just make sure you do not capture with the queen, because then it might result in a draw. So just capture it with the rook. Queen captures, and then it's just queen versus rook, and then you end up winning the game if you're playing as black. Alright, there should be some mating attack probably. If not, I'm not sure. Okay, let's calculate. Okay, I think I got it. Queen captures e1 because our queen is hanging, but by the same token, their queen is hanging as well. If we retreat our queen, they might do the same. They might retreat their queen back, right? So the best case scenario is give up the queen because their queen is hanging, but give up the queen with a check. They're forced to respond and then capture their queen. So queen captures e1 makes complete sense. Rook captures e1, and then you take rook captures d6. Alright, queen captures d6 was played. This is super easy, right? Something related to the most common theme in the game of chess is something that occurs frequently. Over here, the queen, the king, same diagonal, the b8 h2 diagonal. So you guys pause for a minute and take a minute or two to think about it. Yeah, that's correct. Bishop c7. Right, just play bishop c7, and there is no way out because queen captures e6 is not possible at all. Why isn't it possible? It's not possible because the king is just behind the queen. So it is not allowed in chess to leave your king out in the open or just be it exposed, right? So bishop c7 is must, which is followed by queen c7 because that's sort of forced, or else there is nothing that they can do about it. So rook captures c7. Again, there's, I don't know why, but today we are seeing a lot of discovered attacks. Again, discovery, right? The rook on the same line as the rook on f2, the c2 f2 rook coincide. The only thing that's blocking that's blocking our rook from capturing their rook is the bishop. Just get the bishop off the way, and the only correct way to get it off is to give a check. So bishop c4, check, king slides, and then you just get the rook on c2. What's with this? We're playing is black, and we are just one square away. Yeah, so I think this is relatively easy. All you need to do is kind of make sure that the rook does not control the g1 square, and there's only one way that we can make that not possible for them, is to place a rook on the f1 square, right? They should not control g1, and the only square is to, for a rook to block that, is to go on f1, and the quickest way is like rook f2 and f1, right? Because if you try and capture this pawn, it doesn't really work, because these pawns are coming towards us and we are going upwards, right? The orientation of the board matters a lot. Right now we have rank number 8 on our side of the board, so yes, the correct way is rook f2, and then you play rook f1. If they capture the pawn, you capture it, and then we have enough time. Our king is also close to those pawns, and the rook is also on the g file. Which file was that? Probably the b file, right? I didn't see it, but should be the b file. Yeah. Okay, it's white to play as simple as it gets. Probably first give a check and then take the rook, right? Give a check and then take the rook. I just want myself as well as y'all to just not make the same mistakes we did in the previous lesson or the previous video. Okay, so here's the thing. This is a mistake because of probably rook captures h1. So I think the best possible move over here would be rook captures h2, which is followed by rook captures h2, and then we get this bishop captures g4. Okay, again black to play. This is as simple as it gets, right? One of the most basic things which a lot of amateurs as well as a lot of intermediate players miss. Skewer is one such thing which people tend to miss a lot. So again, the king is on c3, the queen is on h8, the same diagonal follows the h8 a1 diagonal. So this is as simple as it gets. You just play queen to a1, the king messes around, the king has to move, and then you take the h8 queen, I suppose. Yeah, okay, now let's take a look at this one. This one's interesting. Okay, let's see what's going on. Our pawn is going forward. Let's say if we push, they take, we take, and then it's with a check, so the king must go to h7, and then we push, and then they play probably rook to e2, we push, they take, and then okay, both the pawns are not on the 6th rank, so they can easily be stopped, I suppose. So let's say e6, and then you just play this, and then if they take, you just take it. Alright, let's take a look at this. There's a lot of overloading in this position. Overloading is when one piece does multiple jobs, right? When one certain piece does for example, take a look at this rook. This rook does not only protect the knight, but it also protects the other rook. So probably rook captures d1 is the best possible move, right? Rook captures d1. You cannot play chess and cook at the same time unless and until you're playing on the phone or you're not being serious at all. So rook captures d1, and then the control of the e4 knight disappears. So rook d1, and then you play bishop e4. Alright. Okay, now this is getting a bit complicated, I suppose, or I'm just judging this one too quick, but I believe this is as simple as it gets. Again, first of all, rook d2, because the knight protects it. So let's say the queen needs to move. The queen can only move to, let's say, b5 or a6, and once that happens, you can just play rook captures with a check. They need to capture back with the rook, and then e3 knight is not defended. So rook d2, and yeah, if they take, it's completely, the ball is in our court because we just get the queen, and then we get the, yeah, should we take it? Yeah, we can take it. Right. Okay, and this one is super simple. Just give a check, which is followed by again give a check, because which will result in a skewer. Okay, always calculate a move or two ahead. In this position, what happens is after rook captures g6, they are forced to capture the rook with their king, and once they succumb to that, it's rook g7 check with a skewer, because the rook is like 2 squares away. Right, the rook should be 2 squares away if they are on the same file. If it's just 1 square away, I mean, the distance between the rook and the king there should be 2 squares in between. If there's only 1 square in between, the king can go diagonally and still manage to protect the rook. So yeah, there. Okay, now let's take a look at this one. Again, looks a bit complicated, but the level of this puzzle, it says it's 1441. So can be solved with precision. So I believe I found it. It's knight f5, because if pawn captures f5, queen captures f5 with a check, and if they play knight f5, rook captures, we can play knight captures d6 with a check. So knight f5 is correct. Pawn captures, and then you play queen captures with a check, which is followed by rook captures h6, as this is a completely hanging piece. This no defender, nothing guarding it, nothing protecting it, so you can just play rook h6. Okay, this one, let's see. What? Oh, I see it. It's like a cross pin. So you have already pinned the queen, which means the white queen on d4 cannot really move horizontally or vertically. It cannot travel on any of those files or any of those ranks, because it's pinned with our pin. So you can just play a move like, let's say, rook d8. Now it's a cross pin, because if the queen captures the rook, it will be an illegal move, as you can see. And if the queen captures the queen, after we play rook d8, we can first take the rook with a check and then capture their queen. So rook d8 and then take it and then capture it. And this was a good one. Okay, white to play. This is simple, right? Always grab these opportunities, these small ones, wherein you can capture these pawns. Like for example, let's take a look. The f7 pawn is pinned. We can definitely play e6 and manage to just capture it. E6, and then just to be a little careful. Now we have to make a choice. Should we capture it with the pawn or with the rook? I believe with the rook should be correct, right? We don't need two pawns on the same file, the f7 and f3. So yeah, just capture it with the rook. Oh, this is simple. I believe it is rook captures f5. Again, the king is overloaded, protecting the pawn, protecting the rook. You cannot really go rook e2 over here, because if you play rook e2, they might follow it up with the rook to e4. So as to what I know, as to what I feel, rook f5 is correct, and then you capture it. Because we had shouldered their king. If you can just go back and take a look at it, both the kings have, like, we played our move and then it's theirs, so we can take the opposition. Alright, let's see. Okay, this one's simple. Queen captures, king captures. Why? Because the king and the queen are the knight's distance away from the e4 square, right? As simple as it gets. So queen captures d2 and then knight captures e4. So these are some of the patterns that you need to recognize, right? Pattern recognition is super important. If you are able to recognize patterns with ease, that's what chess is all about. Chess is always about pattern recognition and nothing else. It's only related to patterns. There we go. Okay, let's see. Let's take a look at this one. Probably bishop captures, king captures, and then rook captures. I might be wrong. There might be other moves as well, but I think this is the best case scenario. Yeah, and then take it again. Just need to be careful about back ranks and all the other threats, but yeah. Let's see with this one. Oh, this is simple. No, it is not apparently. Oh, it is. Rook to g2, right? The king must go. The only square is king to h1, and then you give rook to h2 check. Because after king captures h2, you can play queen g2, which is game over. So yeah, rook g2 and then rook h2 again, a very nice puzzle. It's followed by queen g2, this is checkmate. Okay, let's see. Is there a way we can deflect? Yes. We can play f5. If king captures f5, rook captures rook. Once we play f5, if king captures e5, pause the video and think for a minute. Yeah, the correct way to deflect is to play knight c6. The king must capture the pawn, and then we can play rook captures rook. So f5, and then okay, over here they just made our job even easier. So rook captures d5. Alright, so 25 is done. Let's hope for the best, and let's hope we do not make them silly mistakes. So let's see, rook goes there. Nah, apparently doesn't work that way. This is a bit, I find this tricky. For some reason I'm finding this really tricky. I know I need to move the rook, but where? Oh, got it. So this is something which can be, this is a discovered attack that can be created. So you can just play rook captures a1. They are forced to capture it because they cannot just let go of their rook. So rook captures a1, queen captures a1, which is followed by a very beautiful check. Rook b8 check, right? Rook takes and then bishop captures a1. So let's play rook captures and then rook b8, bishop captures a1. All right. Okay, again a matter of attraction and deflection. Rook g7. Why? Because once the king captures the rook on g7, both the king and the queen are at a knight's distance away from the e6 square. Right there and there and then yeah, there. Okay, let's see. Looks complicated, but should not be because we have an amazing rook lift. Right, qc3 followed by rook d6, and then there is no stopping. Okay, the king protects the bishop on g6. Pause the video, think for yourself. This is easy. All you need to do is deflect the king away from protecting the bishop on g6 because our bishop on d3 looks at their bishop on g6. So take a minute, think about this. This is an easy one. The level of this puzzle is says 1772, but I don't think so that's the case. This is even easier than the ones that we saw before. So yeah, correct. Pawn to e6, right? Deflect the king and get the bishop. Okay, well now we are in some dangerous territory, I believe. No, I don't think so. Because firstly, if you take a look at the orientation of the board, black pawns are going up, which means we are moving forward from the 8th rank to the 1st rank. So the order in which you make your moves matter a lot. You cannot play b4 check right away, because once the king goes to, g5 check right away, because once the king goes to g3, a king has a lot of squares like where it can just chill and escape and evade. So the first check is of utmost importance. The first check is indeed bishop f2, and once the bishop goes to g3, there is no square for the king. All you need to do is give this amazing check on g5, which results in a checkmate. Okay, now again the position is complicated. Need to be careful about what's going on and what's not. Let's see, let's give the first check like this, right? Probably this makes a lot of sense, because the bishop cannot block the check as the queen pins it. If the king moves, we have rook captures, and there's probably nothing that they can do. So takes, and then again, don't rush. Yeah, probably this is the best way. Okay. Alright, makes a lot of sense. Okay, rook captures is probably a losing move, because pawn captures the rook comes with a check, right? It comes with a check. So probably queen f3 is correct. Because after queen takes, uh, everything just chisels out. But then I want to be like 100% sure. But I'm pretty sure queen f3 is the only correct move. Because even if they make a queen right now, we have qg to mate. Right? If they take, we can just come back with our queen. And yeah. Okay, alright, now we need to be a bit careful. We cannot go down, because then we are just giving up space. Right? That's what I think. But irrespective, let's just... Okay, takes. King here. And then we can just play a4. Right? Opposition is something which is really important when it comes to bare kings with no pieces in an endgame. Alright, now this again looks very complicated. The level has increased to 1922. So again, reaching 100 is always a challenge. It is always difficult. You just one move you go wrong, and then everything falls or drops down. I have no idea about this. Let's think together probably. Oh yeah, again the queen like can be harassed, right? So not the rook on f1, because then the queen gets the f2 square. Instead, you play the move rook from c1 to e1. Now the queen is really short on squares. The only square where it needs to go to protect this is f4, and then queen captures f4, pawn captures f4, and then we end up winning an extra piece. So yeah, rook e1 and queen takes. All right. Okay. Again, now this is important. The most important thing is to not rush at all. Queen h2 check can be played, which will be met by bishop f2, and then things might get a little out of hand, like this, and then a lot of squares. So probably bishop c5 is the best move. They cannot play bishop c5 because of bishop e3. If they play a move like, let's say, there, then we have queen e1. So let's go bishop c5, and then probably we need to give a check on this 5. Check. All right. Okay, 35, right? White to play. Oh my god. Okay, this check. Queen needs to come in. Takes, rook a1. And yeah, we are on time. And if queen to b1, rook to c2, then pause the video and think. If queen b1 and rook c2, it's something related to cross pins, right? Cross pins is what I'm talking about. Cross pins. So let's go. Queen b1. If rook c2, then the correct move was, if rook would have come on c2, the correct move would have been rook c1. But fortunately, this makes our job even easier. Queen c2, queen captures c2, rook captures c2. You just go rook a1, and then the pawn just rolls up and above. Okay, let's see. Let's take a look at this. Okay, again a simple one. The queen needs to be deflected. I believe knight a5 is correct, right? Knight a5. There you go. And probably a6, right? a6 is the only thing that I can spot. a6, yeah. Okay, let's see. Let's take a look at this. I think I found it, but I just want to be absolutely sure. Okay, we need to be careful about these things like the g2 square and all of it. Probably, I think rook captures h7, king captures h7, queen goes there, but then king g8 comes, which is not correct according to me. Oh yeah, so the correct move is queen f6. Queen f6 not only threatens, not only checks the king, but it also threatens the rook, right? So queen f6, and if rook captures f6, you can just slide your rook all the way to e8, and this is like a lawnmower's mate. Like, I hope you all might have learned about this. Lawnmower's mate, and then the rook needs to fall back and rook f8, right? So there, and then you play this, rook f8. Oh, this one was a good one actually. Okay, let's calculate this. I can clearly see that the king is wide exposed. Just need to be very accurate with regards to this position, and it already looks difficult for me. And the level has increased to 1945, and we are on the 38th position. Rook captures c6. Does it work? No, it doesn't. So basically, it's about us. We just need to trap the queen, I believe, and I'm pretty sure it can be done by playing rook to c4. Right. Rook to c4 is a queen trap. Rook c4 is a queen trap. So if some positions can be tricky, so if that happens, you just need to worry about trapping pieces. It just depends, like identifying patterns and stuff like that. Okay, let's say queen f1 looks quite correct. King goes to d2, queen to e2. King cannot go to c1 because of queen c2 mate. So queen f1, king d2, queen e2, king c3, queen c2, king needs to go to the b file, and then skewer, right? So let's go qf1, there, and hold on. Is there a mate? Queen c4, king a3. There's no mate. So yeah. All right. Okay. Let's say white to play. It's getting difficult as much we are progressing, right? So probably f4, because bishop captures a2, a7 doesn't work. What am I saying? c6, because bishop captures a7 doesn't work, and then c7, and then yeah, you just queen, and then c6. If rook captures, then again rook captures, king captures, you push your pawn, because the queening square is a light square, and if they have a dark squared bishop, that's why it's a problem for them. Give a check, need to be a bit careful. The only square we have is a2, the only square we have is b3, the only square we have is a4, and then you push, right? Yeah. Okay. Again, a very complex position. I think it's rook, again a lawnmower pattern. So probably rook e4 first, king f3, and then rook b3 checkmate. Yeah, rook e4, and then rook b3. It is black to play. How is this even winning for black? Okay, probably because of king a6 like this, I think. Again, to not rush is the main thing. So let's say queen captures e2. The level has just reached above 2000. So let's say queen captures e2, and then king g3. Oh, this is super complicated. Like real complicated stuff. Yeah, I think rook e2 should be perfect because king f1 and all might result in discovery ideas. So yeah, rook captures e2, the king must come, then we can go rook f2. If the king goes over there, again, yeah, okay, there, and then probably we can just deflect, right? We can just deflect, I believe so. We'll just deflect, yeah. First of all, the king is in a check, so queen takes, rook takes. Then probably we push. I think c3 is correct, but I just want to be sure. Now let's see c3. Rook to d3. Okay, c3, rook to c1 was played. Alright, let's see. Over here, let's say rook c8. Then rook d3 might come. Then you probably go c2 and rook d2 might come. So I believe I have no clue about this. Oh, rook f1. Rook f1, rook f1, and then you play c2. And then the queen is unstoppable, right? So yeah, you go there, and then just play c2. Okay. Awesome. That was a good one. Oh, this one's nice. Knight e5. Because if queen captures. Oh, wait, hold on. Things might get a little tricky here. Oh, yeah, that's correct. Knight e5, because knight e5, queen captures, knight f3 with a check, pawn captures, rook captures g5 with a check, and then you get the queen. So knight e5, the queen needs to go back, you take, and then the rook captures the bishop. Alright, this is all good. This is some sort of a mating net. Let's say knight h7, king g8, knight f6. King cannot go to h8 because rook h7 is made, so king must go to f8, and then okay, cool, this, and then rook h7. Okay, first of all, we cannot promote. Why can't we promote? Pause the video, think for a minute. Why is it not possible? Why is b1 a terrible mistake? It won't work at all. b1 won't work at all. That would be a vicious mistake, because if you play b1 and even though you promote, rook h6 is game over. Right, rook h6 is game over. So and then how do we eliminate that? So probably we need to give a check. That is the only option we've got, because there are no legit squares for the king. So give a check. Again, you cannot promote. So rook captures the pawn will result in king captures, and even though you make a queen, rook h6 is a mate. So again, the best possible scenario is to give a check. Yeah, just check, and then that's about it. That's all you can do about it. This looks scary as well. It's a knight f7, rook f7, and then queen captures e7, right? Alright, let's say knight b6. Oh yeah, knight b6 actually works, because it's a check. No, wait, hold on. Yeah. Oh, knight b6 was not correct. Correct way was q to h7. Anyway, it was a joyful ride, just short on one.